Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Rainer and today I will be releasing a new version of the Neverwinter Character Builder Plus, version 0.4.10. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more information or videos about Neverwinter, hit the subscribe button. So I am making a video, that means we have a new feature in here. And this is one that I have been thinking and wanting to make for quite a while. There has been something to do this already on Jane's website, but well, apparently nobody could find it. I don't know. Anyway, it's now also in here and it will work directly on the build that you made in this builder. So, for these videos, we always just walk through the changelog, so let's do that. In About, Change Tracker, let's see, 0.4.10, 13th of January, that's today, insignia bonuses. So these in a recent patch, or maybe it still has to be patched, I think it's already patched. In a recent patch, they actually fixed the 2 insignia bonuses. I'm not sure if they said it's only textual, but yeah, they are now not as good as the 3 insignia bonuses. Barbarian's Delight went down from 1 to 0.3% and Survivor's Gift from 1.5 to 0.3%. So I also adapted that in the builder. It doesn't give stats or anything, but now if you pick it, it will show the correct value. Other than that, I also added the new adapted set bonus, which is 2.5% damage flat and 2.5% damage against demons, devils and fiends. That's for the new artifact set in mod 18, so that's corrected in here. And the other correction that was done is the rusted iron leggings. The debuff used to be minus 50% and now it's minus 25%, so I also changed that, and this does have an impact on stats, so yeah. Other than that, I also added the Boots of Misty Step, a new mount that you can get in the new expedition pack, and it also has a unique new mount equip power, so I also had to add that. And the last thing, and that's what the video is for, is the stat analyzer tool. So a lot of people are asking me, what is better, 4000 power or 4% crit severity, or should I add armor penetration or crit, or should I add more power? What should I focus on to get the most out of my build? What should I get to which value? And that's where this stat analyzer tool comes in. Let me load a build first. Let's do this barbarian build. We go to extra, stat analyzer, and then we get this screen. I'm actually going to change it that Avernus is selected here first, so you can pick enemy ratings, and maybe I also add some level 70 and 18 here. Anyway, you can pick the area where you want to focus your build on, because that's also something that is important. So for Avernus, the enemy ratings are 35,000, for Tower of the Mad Mage 30,000, and for Lair of the Mad Mage 18,000. And I think this is also level 80 if I'm not mistaken. I will check that and fix this, because I want to have the Avernus, I think, primary, because that's the one that people usually focus on. Okay. So now what do we see here? We see down here in this area, we see here all the values of our build. So we see our power, which is also here. So these are the stats from our build. Power is here, armor penetration. It's all taken over in this screen. Critical severity is rounded to a full percentage, but it doesn't really make a super big difference. Accuracy is taken over and combat advantage is taken over. And now what we can do, we can see the damage modifications here. And what we can do is we can see, let's say we add 1000 power. What does that do? Well, our damage modifier goes up from 198.66% to 199.66%. We add 1000, So our damage modifier goes up by 1% because 1000 is 1%. That means we increase our modifier by this, and that is a 0.33% damage difference. So you can see if you add 1000 power, that's 0.33. Another one, if we have armor penetration here, our damage modifier is 0, which is weird. I don't know. Oh, we're on Larry of the Mad Mage. Wait, Avernus. So, as you can see here, some of these values are negative, which means that we are not capped. So, this armor penetration is insufficient to penetrate all the defense. So, this is actually hurting our damage a little bit. And if we add 1000 here again, our penalty goes down. Also by 1%, because 1000 is often 1%. And this will increase our damage actually by over 1%. So you can see already that adding 1000 armor penetration is better than adding 1000 power. 3 times as good, approximately. So now we can also do this for crit strike, of course. Crit strike is already capped, so this will do nothing. 1000 crit will do nothing. You can also add crit severity, so if we add 4% crit severity, our damage modifier for crit goes from 99.5 to 101.5, which is a difference of 1%. So all kinds of stuff you can do here. Accuracy we can add 1000. This is almost capped, so 85,000 is the new cap. So not all of these 1000 are useful. But we go from a 0.44 penalty to a well, neutral value, so no buff, no debuff. For accuracy, actually if you have 871, the same happens, and everything over 871 will actually be the same. It doesn't make any difference anymore. But yeah, so this would be a buff of 0.44, still better than power. You can also add in combat advantage here, and well, this is of course a new cap of 135. Anyway, you can also see the damage modifier. Combat advantage is a little bit of a weird one because it actually depends more on skill. Your combat advantage uptime means how many of your attacks will have combat advantage, and this it depends on your positioning or certain skills or companions that you're using. You want to be in combat and have combat advantage as much as possible. In general, 80% is a relatively normal value, but you can check, I think with Game Connect also. Yeah, you can check what your actual combat advantage is, so you can fix this for yourself. And let's say you are at not 80% but 70%. You fill in 70% here, and you can see what it does if you would increase your skill to the average value. So you add 10% combat advantage, and actually that makes really a big difference. So combat advantage is where the player really makes a difference in combat. This is where people can show their skill. So this is where people can also improve in battle. If you don't know how this works, fear not. There are also examples about combat advantage in the internet, so read up about this. In my last video I actually also showed it really short, what combat advantage is, how you can detect it, and how you can make sure that you have it and see that you have it. But yeah, that's something you really need to look after. But yeah, these are not statistics, so this is always an input field. And yeah, the modification is just getting better. By the way, you can also make these negative, just so you know. And I will show you some use cases where you can use that. The last one I added here, and this one is also a little bit I wasn't sure about this because damage bonus is a little bit tricky to figure out, and I want to make this actually as easy as I can. But yeah, damage bonus is basically the bonus that you get from buffs on your attack. So if you have gear, let me see, if you have gear that does 5% damage in the Undermountain, so plus 5% damage, that's a buff of an additional 5%. Then we also have probably the rings, yeah, 3%, 3%. You do this for everything, so 5, 3, 3 is 11. Let's say that's all of the buff gear that I have. We put in 11 here, and at that point you can see what happens if I add another item that gives me 3% damage bonus. Let's say my damage modifier would go from 11% to 14%, and the difference in damage would be 2.7%. It's not 3 because it's added to your damage modifiers, your damage bonus damage modifier. Yeah, so that's also something you can do in here. You don't have to. It's not the most important step. Damage bonus percentages are typically best anyway, but now you can also check what it will do for you. At the complete bottom here you can see the total here. So from these statistics, from all of these input fields, I can see that I will increase my damage by more than 9-fold. And with the values here, I don't know why this is now negative. It doesn't make any sense. Is it because of the damage modifier? Are you kidding me? Yeah, it is. Okay, I need to fix that. Let me restart this real quick. Okay, I'm back. Should be fixed now, so if I fill in 1 and then go back to 0, it's okay now. Yeah. So real quick fix here. It is super new, so it could be an error still in here. If you find mistakes or anything, let me know. So at the bottom here you can see the total damage buff from all of these modifiers is 9-fold. I do on average 9 times the damage that I would do without these modifiers, without all of this stuff. Of course your weapon damage still makes a difference, the magnitudes of power still make a difference, and enemy debuffs also still make a difference, as well as your int and strength, which make an impact on your damage as well. So there are still other factors as well that make an impact, but totally based off these statistics here, we do 9-fold the damage. And to the right, after modifications, you can see what this also does. So if we add something in here, you can see that our modifier goes from 9.15 times to 9.43 times. And yeah, in total this would be a 2.69% buff, which is the same as here, so that's logical. But if you have multiple, that will make the combination of these, and it's not plus. In this case it is incidentally, but it's not always that way. So what can you do with this? As I said at the start, you can already compare, for example, 4000 power versus 4% crit severity. What is better? And here in this build with only 99% crit severity, lots of builds have higher than that, you can see that adding 4000 power is actually better than 4% crit severity. That's one thing. Another thing you can do with the minus values that I mentioned before, right now in this build, let me double check that for a second, I'm using the power bonus. But a lot of people are also talking about this crit severity bonus, which adds 15% crit severity. So you can actually check, what if I do minus 8000 from the power boon and I add 15% crit severity? What would happen to my damage? Well, you can see here your damage would increase by 0.98%. So a little bit less than 1% damage buff from making this change. And so a lot of people have been asking, should I destroy my barracks, I think it is, to swap in for this crit severity guild house? Well, that's a lot of effort for a minimal damage buff. But yeah, so you can also check, compare multiple. So what if one buff gives 4000 armor pen and 2000 combat advantage? In total that would be 3.33. and instead you can see 10,000 damage. Well, that's actually almost the same as the other one, even though these are not kept. So in some cases power can still be better to work on. Anyway, that's a little bit of the tool. I hope it's clear. If it's not, oh wait, I have actually one more thing to show you. Here you can see it uses the buff values, so that means that you have to fill in this whole character builder first before you can use it. I understand that that's not always very convenient, because not everyone has all of their items in here, or maybe it's just not there yet, or you don't have all the items, or you maybe have artifacts that are not max rank and that doesn't work in here, stuff like that. So I also added an option here where you can say, no, I don't want the build values. And at this point, you can fill these in for yourself. You can say, well, I want to start out with my build values, but I want to theorycraft here a little bit. I want to set my power. I want to check for 100,000 power. What if I add 20,000 more? Or what if I add 8,000 more? Or I don't know. What happens with my damage if I put in different values? Well, what if I have 150% crit severity and I add 4%? At that point you get 0.89% bonus. At 100% you get 1. So at a lower crit severity, if you are at the minimum, you get a higher damage difference from the same amount of added crit severity. So that is it. That was all in the change tracker also. Yep, that was the last one. If you have any remarks on this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.